Please welcome Amanda Greenwood from Button and Stacey Georgoulis from CJ to the CJU stage.
Hi, testing.
Yeah, can you all hear us? It's a crazy crowd. We just want to make sure you can hear us in the back.
Can you hear us in the back?
Well, thank you all for coming. We know it's 9:30 on Thursday after the after party, so we appreciate you all showing up.
You all deserve an award.
Yeah. We are very excited to walk you through our session today. We thought it would be a little fun to just get a quick poll going with the audience, wake everybody up. So out of everyone here, again, so many of us, how many of you and your companies have apps?
Okay, good. You're in the right place. Of those who have apps, how many are actually tracking app performance activity through affiliates? You're in the right place still. Amazing.
And last thing, as a consumer, have you ever had issues when you're shopping on your phone? Yeah, I think we all kind of have.
Cool. We're here to solve all those problems for you. All right, well, who are we? I'm Stacey Georgoulis. They pronounced it a little off in the announcement, but I'll forgive them. It's a tough one. I am a Senior Director of Client Solutions. I've been at CJ just about 8 years, but about 6 of those years were in the client development group, so I was client-facing, had a portfolio of clients. I am a vegan, one of those annoying people at the restaurant who asks 100 questions for 5 years. And I've lived in a bunch of cool cities around the globe, and currently am at the beach in Oxnard, California.
Awesome. And I'm Amanda. I'm the Director of Business Development at Button. I've been there for about 4 years. I also started in a client-facing role in partner success and then moved into a business development role. And fun fact is that before Button, I was at CJ for 4 years in advertiser development. So excited to always get to come to Santa Barbara. And I currently live in New York, and I would not call myself the most sought-after foodie, as Stacey put here, but I appreciate that.
Literally, ask Amanda anything about restaurants in New York, and she's got you. So. All righty. So what are we going to talk about today? We want to first set the context of why is mobile important. We're going to speak a bit about the partnership between Button and CJ, and then go through 2 solutions that can help with mobile optimization, so app tracking and SMS marketing. And then lastly, we'll make sure you walk out of here with some actions that you can take and next steps, and we'll leave time for Q&A. All right. Why is mobile important? I'm sure you all already know, but this chart is really interesting. This is CJ network data over a 12-month period. You can see that mobile traffic is either as large as desktop or greater, depending on the month. So really, we should be giving it equal attention, investment, and optimization opportunities, but I think we can all agree we aren't doing that today. Additionally, just some third-party data. So by 2025, this global consumer spending in mobile is expected to be $725 billion. So that's a huge opportunity. As well, this year, the mobile commerce space is expected to grow 20%, and mobile device forecast is $115 billion. So huge opportunity. And just to demonstrate this a bit more, same chart, huge traffic, about half of all traffic on our network is mobile, yet it also has about half the conversion rate today. And I say conversion rate in quotes because it's not that it actually converts lower, it's that we aren't tracking it as much as we should be. So it appears to your publishers, even to your leadership, that the investments that you're making aren't going to have as good of a ROAS because you're not actually tracking all of the conversions that are happening on mobile. So there's some challenges in this landscape today. As we just mentioned, the revenue loss. So if you aren't app tracking and you have an app, you're really missing out on those higher conversion rates that tend to happen in-app. We have proof of that. Higher AOVs, and really that lifetime value from the type of consumer who shops in-app. And I'm sure we've all heard about privacy. I think all the sessions have touched on privacy in some context. So iOS 14 has really complicated how to measure in mobile app. And so it's made it a lot harder for brands to re-engage those mobile consumers. And lastly, as Amanda mentioned, and you all testified that you've had issues shopping on mobile, it's a really inconsistent user experience. A lot of times when you click on a mobile link, you're not brought to the page that you expected, or you're not brought at all. So all these things we'll talk about how we can make them better with some solutions.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Button, Button is a mobile commerce platform. We're about 8 years old, and we were really founded back then because our CEO and co-founder was at a company in the affiliate space and saw that the technology just wasn't keeping up with the pace in which consumers were shifting their shopping behavior from desktop to mobile. And so we sought to create a technology that can help solve that, both for brands and publishers. And so because we understand the important role that mobile plays in the affiliate landscape today, and we also recognize the challenges that Stacey just shared that present our clients, we partnered together about 2 years ago, CJ and Button, to help bring new products to the industry, to make it easier for publishers and brands to partner, to importantly, seamlessly route your users into your app and be able to track installs and app sales that take place along the way, and even to tap into a new marketing channel with SMS re-engagement, meeting your consumers where they are, ultimately all while leveraging your existing publisher footprint. So really just optimizing the traffic that you already have in the channel to drive better results for your program. And so how can we do that? Button has a product suite called Post-Tap, and the goal there is really to supercharge your paid marketing spend to drive more sales, more app users, and higher LTV customer relationships. And the way that we're able to achieve that is through 2 core solutions. First and foremost, and we touched on this a bunch already, is our app product. And that's machine learning backed deep linking to help route users seamlessly into your app and again, be able to track actions that take place there. And then we more recently launched our Post-App SMS program, and that's a full-scale marketing, or SMS marketing opportunity, where brands have the ability to capture SMS subscribers without any code required, and then re-engage those subscribers down the line with SMS campaigning. So we'll walk you through what each of these products are, and as Stacey mentioned, kind of tell you a little bit more about how you can take advantage of them for your programs. Starting first and foremost with our app tracking product, Post-Tap app. We wanted to kind of start out by talking about the benefits that you can expect to see by enabling a solution like Post-Tap app. And we already know, again, there's a ton of benefit to tracking more sales, right, and driving more user acquisition, but it kind of goes beyond that too. What we hear very often is that there are silos that exist today in brand organizations and publisher organizations where mobile is considered its own separate channel from the affiliate teams and from other digital marketing teams. But what we know to be true is mobile is really just another platform where you can reach your most highly engaged consumers. So what's great about a product like this, or even just kind of breaking down those walls and starting to talk about mobile more between mobile teams and affiliate, is now you become more strategic as a whole at an organization, and you start to realize what you can learn from one another to achieve your acquisition and your mobile goals. It also helps fill the data gap. So Stacey really outlined this really well, that we're not capturing all the sales that are happening in the channel today. And that means you're not getting credit for sales that are already happening. If you have an app, which I saw many of you do, and you're not tracking sales there, it doesn't mean that sales aren't happening and that they're not coming from referred publisher traffic in the affiliate space. You're just not getting credit for them right now, right? And neither are your publishers. So what's great about this is that you're going to start to understand a little bit more, or a lot more, about who your mobile consumer is, where they're coming from, and how they're engaging with your brands. So ultimately, you can be more effective in the optimizations you make in the channel. Optimizing the user experience is a big one. We all talked about the fact that we have some trouble sometimes on mobile devices when we're shopping. There's still a lot of broken links out there, a lot of broken tracking. And it's a really nuanced space. You can't take a one-size-fits-all approach to solving that. And so you need some sophistication and some additional technology investment to make sure that you're fixing that and giving your consumers the best possible experience with your brands. And last but not least, performance. We know that there's higher conversion rate in app. App users are converting more frequently at a higher rate, and that builds towards a stronger loyalty and stronger lifetime value as well. So how does this technology work? This is a little bit of an eyesore, I realize that, but this is kind of an under the hood view of how our technologies work well together that I'll walk you through, and then I'll give you a live experience as well of what this looks like from the user perspective. So at a very high level today, when a user clicks on a CJ link for one of our brands using this technology, CJ routes all that traffic to Button. Button then sees, is that user on desktop or mobile? And if they're on mobile, we're going to take them through our dynamic routing. So I mentioned before, we have machine learning under the hood to make sure that we're constantly looking for the most seamless way to route that user, right? We can't, again, take a one-size-fits-all approach, because with every device type, with every operating system, with every experience, whether it's native web, app, embedded web within an app, things are really complicated, and we don't want to land users in a broken experience. So we look to see all of these different inputs before we route them. And the first one really is, do they already have the app installed? And does the page that they're trying to get to exist in the app? And if so, we'll deep link them right into your app and track any conversions that take place there. If not, we're going to give them the option of how they want to shop. So we'll actually take them to a landing page that we've created that says, would you like to continue to app, or would you like to go to web? So giving them or empowering them to make that decision. And if they'd like to go to web, we pass that traffic back to CJ. CJ will handle all routing and tracking from there. But if they choose to go to app, we'll take them through the App Store, take them right into your app, track any conversions, and pipe that install and app data back into CJ for commissioning and reporting. So think of this holistically as CJ is still your source for partnerships, contracting, commissioning, reporting, invoicing, all the stuff you know and love about CJ as a network. And Button's just that technology layer on top to make sure that your mobile consumers are going through a really seamless path to purchase. So here's a live example. In this example, the user is starting on Like to Know It or within the Like to Know It app, and they're searching for these pink pants. And you'll see here the user does not have the Belk app installed, so they decide in this instance to download the app. And once we take them through the App Store, we'll be able to deep link them right to that product page within the app. So not only does Belk now have a new app user, where we know they're going to be more likely to come back over time, but that user got to the page and where they were trying to go really quickly, and now they can check out from here.
Very cool. All right, and Amanda mentioned we've been partnered for about 2 years. After the first full year of our partnership, we took all of the brands who had integrated with Post-Tap app and looked at the aggregate results from all of those brands. So these are pretty incredible numbers. So comparing mobile web to app, we saw a 218% lift in conversion rate and a 251% increase in revenue per click. And on average, growth in AOV of 14%. So huge numbers, huge opportunity across lots of different verticals and brands that we're already working with. So Post-Tap SMS is the other solution that we want to talk about today, how it can help you optimize in mobile. So as Amanda mentioned, the SMS marketing is mainly another channel that you can start working with. So I'm sure a lot of you have an email channel. This is really another way that you can directly contact consumers who've signed up to hear from you, right? They want to hear what's going on with your brand. So you can really take those visitors that are already coming to your site and turn them into subscribers. And of course, this helps to build long-term relationships. Like I said, to talk about new products you have coming up or a promotion that's coming up soon. And then, of course, you can re-engage them in the future as well. So it really creates another remarketing channel for your brand.
So here's a live example, and you'll see that it looks pretty similar actually to the app example, in that when a user clicks on a CJ link, they're about to click on a CJ link, we'll take them through a similar flow, except in this case on the landing page, now we have a lead capture form. So the user has the option to sign up or to just continue on in their shopping journey. Here you can see, because Overstock also utilizes our Post-Tap app technology, we can also then acquire that user potentially as a new app user. But this technology doesn't just work for app brands, right? It's really for any brand or publisher that's looking to acquire that SMS customer to be able to re-engage them over time. So Stacey alluded to this too. The goal here is, one, to test a new channel a little bit, of course, to re-engage your consumers in affiliate and drive more revenue. But importantly, it's to reach your consumers where they are. And if they're telling you that they want to hear from you in this format, you know that they're already really engaged. And this is a great way to continue to get them back in the door during really peak promotional periods. So what we've seen on average, and this is a newer product, we launched it about 1.5 years ago, but engagement is really strong. So what we know is that email isn't going anywhere. It's still a really great tool to reach out to subscribers that have signed up to hear from you. But as I know, at least for myself, whoops, the mic, is I have a promotional folder, right? And all my emails go in there from all the brands that I've signed up for. So I rarely even see those messages. And so conversion rate right now in email is about 2.9%, whereas what we're seeing with SMS is it could be up to 25%. So users are really engaged, and if you think about it, when I have a text message, I always open it. So whether I'm clicking on it or not, I'm at least, engaging, I'm reading, I'm looking to see what that news is all about. And it's a really efficient channel. We're seeing on average around 25x ROI. So it's really inexpensive to send these types of messages. Again, we see really strong return because these users want to hear from you. So they often are clicking through, and even if they're not, they're going on to purchase, leading to stronger return on your spend. And what we see lastly here is just in terms of collection and engagement, for every 1 million visits to your site, we see about 50,000 people sign up. So it's about a 5% collection rate. So if you consider all the traffic that you get, not just through the channel, but to your site generally over a month, 2 months, 3 months, over a couple of months, all of a sudden you can have thousands and thousands of customers now ready to hear from you that you can re-engage through SMS campaigning. And so we published a case study with Overstock as well as a couple other CJ brands. Not to dig in too much to the quote itself, but I think what's really unique here is that Overstock saw an opportunity not only to engage with consumers through SMS, but to actually use it even in a new way to drive installs from SMS campaigning. So sending their consumers or their subscribers a link to install the app to get certain in-app only, in-app exclusive rewards. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can test and learn into this channel, and it's been really exciting to see how different brands and publishers are using it. And we see that there's just so much potential here for innovation, bringing SMS into the affiliate space.
Awesome. All right, so what can you do coming out of this session? So of course, I'm sure you've realized that there's a data gap that you could definitely fill in this channel, likely other channels as well, by better understanding your customers' shopping behaviors. You can actually look at the KPIs once you have app tracking up and running and be able to really see how does mobile web perform compared to app, even compared to desktop. As Amanda mentioned, they're piping all of that data into your CJ reporting, so everything's in one place. You can drill down by publisher and look at all of those details and really start to optimize. Obviously, also acquiring those loyal customers. We know that mobile app users are more likely to convert, they're more likely to spend more, and through that install process, you're going to gain more app acquisition. And then lastly, testing, learning, and investing. I think I mentioned at the beginning that mobile's half of our traffic on average network-wide, but I know most of us probably aren't focusing on investing in mobile placements, for example, or specifically optimizing with publishers on mobile. So really, once you have this up and running, you can start to test some of those investments and optimizations and see how they affect those KPIs. So how do you know if post-tap app is right for your brand? First off, you need to have an app that's present in the Apple or Google Store. And your app must have a conversion event. I think there's a lot of apps out there that might just be for loyalty programs or other purposes, or like checking your balance on your credit card, but it really has to be an app that has a conversion event that you want to reward a publisher on. And then, of course, we would want your app's experience to be either on par with mobile web or better, right? We don't want to start routing customers to an experience that's inferior. So if you've just launched your app and it's really sort of in an early stage, it might not be the right time. So we just want to make sure that we're routing customers to a place where they're going to convert. And then lastly, to take advantage of this solution, you will need developer resources. There's a light integration and investment to start optimizing within your mobile app.
Awesome. So what are the key benefits and takeaways for SMS? So first and foremost, we've mentioned this a lot, but re-engaging your most loyal consumers. We're all thinking about Q4. It's right around the corner. Imagine if you had a tool to get in front of thousands of consumers who've already said they want to hear from you and hear the latest products and deals going on your site. This is a great way to do that. It also allows you to align strategies with your CRM counterparts. So speaking back to that idea of breaking down silos internally, what we've heard a lot from our brands utilizing this is now they're starting to talk more to their CRM teams to understand what messaging strategies works for them in email, in push. How can we replicate that not only then through this SMS program, but in your affiliate programs, right? And how you're thinking about writing your links or creating new banners, doing more publisher placements. What's the messaging that really resonates? And is it right for your brand? So if you're not yet running SMS marketing, this is a great way to test it. If you are already doing it, you probably already have a phone number in place, so might not be the best fit. But again, this is a no-code solution, so if you're not doing it yet, this is a great way to kind of just test and learn. You're a brand with US presence. As you can imagine, there's a ton of regulation that goes into SMS marketing. And so we really wanted to make sure that we were completely compliant and ready to go in the US market to start. We will potentially launch in other markets, but for now we're focused here in the US. You have at least 30,000 mobile affiliate clicks a month. It's a little bit more nuanced here, but if you're launching through that affiliate flow, we just want to make sure that there's enough traffic in the channel that you can actually see the impact that this program or this product will have for you. So it's not to say there's no opportunity if you're a smaller brand. We actually do have a solution to launch on-site capture as well. So you've probably experienced this yourself. You go to a website and a little widget pops up asking if you'd like to sign up for SMS marketing. We have that capability, and of course it broadens your reach. With that, it does take a little bit more or a little bit of tech work, so you might need some resourcing to handle that. We just want to set expectations for how this will be successful for your brands based on the size of volume or the size of the brand that you are. And we noted this before, the app product and SMS work really well together. They complement one another, but having an app or having an integration in app is not required at all for this. Consider these two separate opportunities to optimize your mobile presence. So again, we're super excited about this. It's pretty unique in the affiliate space to start testing into, but we see a ton of potential for our brands to really start maximizing the way that they're engaging with their consumers.
All right, so again, walking out of here, your first step would be to reach out to your CJ team to learn more about how each of these products could benefit your brand. Then we'll bring Button in to go over the details for your specific brand and walk you through, probably with others from your organization, and talk a little bit more about launch requirements. And then, of course, you'll need to secure approvals from stakeholders internally. Amanda mentioned the silos in the beginning, so you might have to introduce yourself to your mobile app team or others in the organization that you'll need to help with launch. So some of the development work we spoke about for app especially. That's all. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speak up. You want to take that one?
So the goal behind Apple's updates in the past 2 years is really to make sure that brands aren't tracking information about users or their device in an effort to retarget those users without their permission, right? So there's a lot of companies out there in the mobile space specifically that their entire goal is to create identity graphs to track users from one session or one channel to another. And Apple wants to protect users' privacy there. So they've put a lot of restrictions in place in how you can track users, what information you can track about users, et cetera.
Yeah,
it's definitely made things a little complicated in the mobile space.
There are brands we work with at CJ that aren't using Button's technology or using like their MMP to track, for example, and the users on app have to actually give consent to be tracked. And for example, with one brand I'm familiar with, they're only getting 30% approval. So we're only tracking 30% of the mobile app transactions because we don't have the consent. Whereas Button's technology, they create their own ID, so they don't have to rely on the IDFA. And so they're able to track everything. It's holistic. So it's a big gap.
And it's also just inherent in iOS. Like, for example, on desktop, they clamp down, with your IDP or whatever.
ITP, yep.
That was like, in a way, different from iOS, where it's just built into their ecosystem, this restrictive sort of tracking environment.
Yeah, it's a little different, but I think, again, to Amanda's point, like they're going after the same concept of not tracking users without their consent. So we have solutions for the desktop side of things as well. Our universal tag, you probably heard about it. But yeah, I think all digital marketing channels are figuring out ways that they can keep tracking intact post all of these privacy changes. Yeah. And there was a question. Yeah.
Hi. So we just launched our app last month.
Awesome.
And then in terms of thinking about when we start focusing on SMS versus downloads, do you have recommendations on when these are, because we're also having conversations about SMS right now, but do you have recommendations and best practices for when you sort of switch over from downloads to getting SMS?
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on your business and what your goals on right now. So if your goals right now on getting more users to your app, then definitely you'd probably want to focus your tech resources and other internal resources there. Although I do think that they're two different, very different products, and so you might have different internal stakeholders working on each that they could potentially work in parallel to one another. So what we think about with app is that we want to try to, as quickly as we can, because there is usually a technical lift required to get users there. The sooner you can start on that, the better. And then you can work with your CRM teams and counterparts to understand, what are your goals around email versus SMS? How can we complement you with SMS in the affiliate space? I don't think they have to be necessarily sequential, but it does depend on what your goals are.
I think too, if SMS is going to obviously be on mobile, right? And so if someone's signing up and they're hearing from you on mobile, they're gonna go to mobile web when they click through, right? So if your mobile web experience, is right now not as strong as your app, I mean, you could argue also that you might want to get the app tracking up and running before you start doing SMS, right? So that you're routing people to a place where they're going to convert. Although I'm sure there is desktop conversion from the mobile messaging, but in general, you could expect more of that happening through mobile. So. Good question. Yeah. Any others? From anyone in the crowd? Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll be around if there are other questions that you're too shy to ask right now.